Hey everybody, it's Chris. Welcome. We are looking at sideways trading with Bitcoin. We see right here, Bitcoin at 30,000, just sticking around this blue line that I've got here, 30,000 up and down, but that's okay. It's a breather, which is what I had posted on the 24/7 charts. That's okay. It's good to have a breather, good to stop. Cryptos just don't keep going up, right? They take a breather, and we might have a little bit of retracement coming soon. A little bit of negative news. We'll talk about that. But in the stream tonight, we will be talking about not only Bitcoin, touch on Ethereum, Dogecoin, and FTT token and FTX. What's going on with that? And some others as well. So welcome. Good to see you here. Hey, bye, Jason. How are you? Glad to see you here. If you're watching this on a video, on the replay, that means you weren't here with Chris on a Wednesday night. So I'm on every night, 9 o'clock. Wasn't on last night because was busy and there just wasn't anything going on last night. And it wouldn't have been anything anyway until after the stream was over. We saw this little dip here in Bitcoin as Bitcoin had been pushing 30,300 and dipped back below 30,000 with that. And what did Doge do there? Well, Doge went on a dip too. So and that was late last night. And what has Doge been doing since then? Doge has been climbing up steadily. Unlike Bitcoin, which has been treading water sideways, Doge was actually making some gains back against Bitcoin. So that's good for Doge. We had some trading, and then we had this little blip right here. We had this little blip, big spike. I'll talk about that as well in a little bit. Let me get down here into the corner so we can get the charts nice and big, and we will dump right into the news. Stock market. What's going on? CNBC says, well, futures are red. We've got red in the futures for tomorrow's opening bell on the stock market because, well, the Fed expects the banking crisis to cause a recession. That's what the Fed was talking about as the FOMC minutes from the March meeting for March, which was the meeting they had. The minutes show that, yeah, the Fed has been talking about a recession. But you know what? What's more important is battling inflation. So if there's a recession, there's a recession. The Fed doesn't seem to care about that. They need to battle inflation because that's all they have. They either raise interest rates or lower interest rates. That's all they can do. And so it's going to be a little hurtful. I think it's going to be a long year. Sometimes crypto doesn't care about that, but sometimes it does. And so I'm being patient personally with my investing right now, just kind of watching what things are going on, not buying in at these prices. But that's just me. That's just what I'm doing. So, but yes, that is on the horizon here. The next FOMC meeting is the first week of May. So that's only a few weeks away. A lot of discussion about, was the Fed going to raise rates again? Are they going to pause? And I think if they raise rates again, the markets aren't going to like that so much because I think so far the pricing in has been that the last raising of rates was it. And we're going to pause from here and then cut soon, but there's no cuts on the horizon because inflation is still around 5%. Is still 5% inflation, which is more than a typical like 3.5% a year that you would normally expect. And they want to get it down to 2%. So that's going to be tough. That is going to be tough. So, well, that's what we've got going on with that first bit of news. Let me check, see what's going on. 8by, welcome. You made it on time. Good for you. Welcome. Hey, Jason Dranko, welcome. Yep, Doge on a little steady rise here. That is good to see. Hey, Mo, I did not have an intro video. I saved those intro videos for special occasions. And we had a special occasion last week but not right now. So, but those intros will come back, but you didn't miss it. I just do my same little intro, just talking. You guys don't always need to hear that. So this is the good stuff where we are right now. So, hey, Jack, welcome. Welcome. So what's going on today? Well, this is the Shanghai upgrade, right? Everyone is all worried, right? What's going to happen with Ethereum? Oh, everyone's going to be selling. All this unstaked ETH is going to be sold, and ETH is going to dump. Nah. Ethereum trading flat. That's it. So here's the Ethereum chart. It's right above 1900. So, I mean, there was anticipation leading up to it this morning, and Ethereum was actually down here at like 1870 and came up over 1900, and Ethereum's fine. So any selling pressure there is, it's just getting bought back up because people believe in the Ethereum project. They're going to keep buying ETH. ETH will go down when the rest of the crypto market goes down. That's what's going to cause ETH to go down. But I mean, we're seeing a little bit of red here. Again, this is just on a 15-minute time frame, really zoomed in. That's really not much. That's in line with Algorand and Sheeb and XRP, Matic. You know, just doing the same thing. Same two red bars here. So nothing different with ETH. So yeah, ETH will be fine. So that's what's going on. Now we're talking about $34 billion in staked ETH becoming unstaked. And is that going to dump? Nope, not dumping. We're not seeing that right now. So now all of that staked ETH doesn't become unstaked instantaneously. It kind of rolls out over time. But I think a lot of people just believe in Ethereum, and why would you sell? Why would you sell at 1900 if it's going to go to 3,000, 4,000, 10,000? So that's what people are thinking. And that's what I'm seeing on Twitter and on Reddit are those kinds of thoughts. And it's not dumping. So for those of you looking to scoop ETH up at a lower price, well, you're going to have to wait for a bigger crypto dip because ETH is probably not going to do it on its own. Speaking of dips, well, the opposite of that, right, is FTT token. Did you see this FTT token? Let me come over here. FTT. What happened with FTT token today? $2.41. How did FTT go up to 241? What was this big jump? It was down here at like $1.30 and then jumped up to 260. Doubled in price, just like that. Like, who's trading FTT token, right? Who's buying that? It's just like FTX was closed down, bankrupt, all of that. But it pumped. And why did it pump? Well, the people who are now running FTX through the bankruptcy proceedings are hinting at restarting the exchange. Yes, they could start up the FTX exchange again, trading crypto. And do you know how they would do that? Do you know how they would fund it? They would fund it with your money. If you've got money stuck on FTX still, they're going to use it, maybe to restart the exchange. Personally, I wouldn't touch that at all. Can you imagine? Like, yeah, I think I'll take $100,000 and I'll just throw it onto FTX and start trading on FTX. Why would you do that? You saw what happened. Personally, I think it's a way for FTX to make more money because they need to dump all the FTT tokens that they have because they've got a crap ton of them. And if people are trading, and especially trading FTT, they can slowly rug pull FTT slowly sell those FTT and make a bunch of money off of it. That's what they can do. So I wouldn't touch this. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I don't know who decides that. John Ray, the guy who's now leading FTX, he's going to decide that himself? I don't know. Meanwhile, though, the exchange's lawyers have reported that roughly $7.3 billion in liquid assets had been recovered. They're just finding money everywhere. What a mess. What a mess that place was. Between that and Alameda, a bunch of kids, like in a candy shop, running multi-billion-dollar companies, and they don't have a clue. The auditors are just, they don't know what to do. They've never seen such a mess. Apparently passwords and wallet keys were just saved on computers. All the stuff that we say don't do, they were doing. Crazy. But whoever was holding on to FTT tokens, hey, if you sold up at 260 and you bought down at 130, you doubled your money. And I'll bet people were selling up here. I kind of expect this just to drop right back down, personally, FTT tokens. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, what in the world? Exactly. It's craziness. It's craziness. What else going on? Bitcoin. Do you know Bitcoin's a gambling token? Well, that's what Warren Buffett says. And it has no intrinsic value. So Warren Buffett made a lot of money, stock trading, buying companies, dividend investing, all of that stuff. And of course, doesn't understand crypto. But, the stock market is so manipulated, and there's so much behind the scenes stuff going on the stock market that why would crypto be different than that? It isn't. So it's kind of interesting that here's Warren Buffett on the Squawk Box on CNBC talking about crypto. Unbelievable. So here's the Fed president warning of recession amid the banking crisis, and the Fed is committed to hammering inflation. That's it. They're just going to raise interest rates again, most likely back like they did last month. They're going to probably raise it again. According to a report by Reuters, President Neil Kashkari says that even though the Fed's current tactics to combat inflation could cause a recession, the central bank plans on continuing to raise interest rates. Kashkari says that while a recession may be undesirable, higher inflation would be even worse. So to me, that points to another 25 basis point hike the next FOMC meeting the first week of May. That's what I've been guessing, because that's what they said over a month ago that they were going to keep doing. So they're going to stick to that, I think, and we will see. So, and we have our favorites, Elizabeth Warren, and now AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is teaming up with Elizabeth Warren, hunting down crypto companies to interrogate about the Silicon Valley Bank deposits. Now, we talked last month about what caused SVP to go bankrupt. And it was the Fed hiking up interest rates so fast that Silicon Valley Bank had these long-term treasuries, mortgage-backed securities that were at a certain rate, like a 1.75%, because at the time, the percentage rate was practically zero a year and a half ago. was practically zero. So they were taking all of this money that was coming in because of stimulus checks and zero interest loans that companies were getting in order to ride through the pandemic. So tons of money was coming into the bank, and they have to do something with the money. They don't just sit on it, right? And so they started, because they had so much money, they were getting into these longer term loans. And what happens when the Fed then hikes up interest rates to 3-4%? And they're sitting at these 1.75% long-term mortgage-backed securities. That then when people started hearing about it, they were like, I need to take my money out of that bank because that bank may be having problems. And they start pulling their money out. And then the bank ended up having to sell some of these long-term securities at a huge loss. And then they couldn't sell anymore. Nobody wanted to buy them. So they went bankrupt. That has nothing to do with crypto. Now, it just so happened that BlockFi and Circle with USDC was using Silicon Valley Bank as part of its reserve for its stablecoin, and BlockFi had a big chunk of its money in Silicon Valley Bank as well. But that's not why Silicon Valley Bank went under. But politicians will be politicians, and there's this choke point that you hear about. And this is the government just throttling down on crypto wherever they can because they want to do their CBDC. And that continues. And then finally, we talk about Doge. Out-of-pocket investors now want to sue Twitter in this Dogecoin lawsuit. This is the same lawsuit that had been filed last year because people lost money on Dogecoin, and they say it's because Elon Musk has created this Ponzi with Doge, pumped up the price, and then dumped the price. And by dumping the price, a bunch of people lost a lot of money. So they're suing Elon Musk for that. But now, because Elon did this thing with the Doge logo on Twitter for 4 days or something, that they're now saying through their attorneys that because Elon Musk's attorneys have filed to dismiss the lawsuit, they're going to counter that with more information and now drag Twitter into the lawsuit. So it's not only against Elon Musk, but would also be against Twitter as well as a company. So this thing might be around for a while. It might be around for a while, and that's not good for Doge. But what does Elon do? Well, we talked earlier about that little spike that we saw a couple hours ago in the price of Doge. Well, there was this. CB Doge has printed this. Had a little fun with AI here, making this Elon picture here in an emerald mine, because there's all this talk about Elon's past and his family being into mining, that Elon was always really rich, and Elon has always denied that. He wasn't rich as a kid. There was all this talk about these mines in South Africa, and so CB Doge says Elon Musk never owned an emerald mine. An open offer of 69.42 Doge to all the media outlets who are publishing false information. Send me a proof of its existence and take your Doge. Of which Elon replies, I will pay 1 million Dogecoin for a proof of this mine's existence. 1 million Doge. Because Elon knows there's no such thing, right? So he's tweeted about Dogecoin again, and what happened with the price? Well, briefly, there was a little spike right here, Doge spiked up to about 8.48 and then came right back down. Because we're not ready for Doge to quite take off again like that. But that's what happened. Elon can still tweet something about Dogecoin and people will buy and the price will move. That's not Elon manipulating the price. That's Elon just having fun talking about Dogecoin. And this is what happens. Hopefully we would get a judge with some common sense who will dismiss the case. That would be great. How do they have any basis? Investment comes with risks. You invest at your own risk. That's true. I mean, I held Dogecoin all the way up and all the way back down, still holding and buying more. But am I going to sue Elon Musk due to unrealized gains because I didn't sell at 73 cents? No. Now, if those guys bought at 60, 70 cents, well, that's on them. Why are you buying Dogecoin at those prices? So yeah, that's on you. So, well, thank you, Irfan. Appreciate it. Still having a good time talking Doge, more crypto. What's going on? Trying to keep it real. That's what I do. Just trying to keep it real. Having fun with it, but also talking about other coins as well, because I've got a real diverse portfolio now, not only Doge, but I bought into a lot of other projects and having fun with it. So we talk about a lot on this channel, a lot of other coins. I'd like to hear what other people are buying into as well. We've talked a lot about SHIB, and I know some of you are interested in making money on SHIB. We had this blue line here at 1080 that Bill had bought in right over here at a dip. He had bought at 1080. I'm thinking SHIB's going to drop down possibly lower. And so I'm looking at a lower price to get back in because I was swing trading SHIB tokens. I'm swing trading SHIB. So we'll see how that goes. But having fun with it. It's not a lot, but it's like, but if SHIB comes down to a really good, a good price, I might buy a crap ton of it and just ride it out till the next big run on SHIB and then sell. SHIB to me is not a long-term hold, but it's going to pump again at some point in time and there'll be money to be made there. And that's all I'm planning with. I'm not doing anything with Shibarium or anything like that. It's just buy some, wait for the next pump, maybe swing trade again and then sell. So that's my plan on that. And if you've been listening to me, I've got a long-term buy on Algorand, and it's all now staked and working with the Algorand Foundation on their governance. And we actually have a vote coming, I think, later this month. So very involved in Algorand. So looking forward to that. But I don't do whole things about Algorand because most people really don't care about Algorand. They want to talk about Doge and Bitcoin. So that's what we talk about. Dojanko says, that's like going to a casino, losing your money and asking for your money back, isn't it? Isn't that right? Yep. It's like, oops. How do you think that casino got built in the first place, right? It's from your money. Because chances are you lose when you gamble. In crypto, though, if you just pay attention, right, you don't go chasing those stupid tokens. And you be patient and you watch what's going on. You're not going to lose your shirt. Don't trade with leverage. Don't short. You don't need to. You just have to be patient. You're not going to make $1 million overnight in crypto, but you could make $1 million in a year or two, depending on your timing. It is possible to do that, but you got to be patient. And most people aren't. Hey, our fun people make a lot of money with Dogecoin as well. It's a long-term investment. Still believe in Doge. That's right. And you're waiting on the dip to buy more. That's good, because there are dips. Now, sometimes the dips aren't as dippy as you would like. And sometimes Doge can go on a little run. If I go back to the 4-hour chart here, when we look at this big run here that we had, where Doge went up on Monday, up over 10 cents. Compared to that, we're now in a dip back in the low 8s. Will it come back into 7s? It might. That would be a dip from here. We could see that. Again, a lot of that is going to be tied to the overall crypto market. And if the overall crypto market is going to dip, you could buy just about anything at a dip. Some things aren't dipping as much as others because we've got, let me go to the 1-hour chart here. I wanted to show like Solana. If you were waiting for Solana, below $20, well, Solana, in anticipation of some new phone that they're doing, is now trading up $24, now at $23.69. So if you didn't catch it down right below, it just dropped below $20 to like $19.80 right there, that would have been the time to buy if you're interested in Solana. Now, is Solana going to make you $1 million? It's a pretty heavy bet. If you were interested in making a lot of money in Solana, you could have bought it back in December at about $9 instead of 19. But who knew Solana was going to turn around? A lot of people were worried about it with that whole FTT or at the FTX thing, because there were a lot of Solana tokens that FTX had, which are going to become unlocked. They're all wrapped up in the bankruptcy right now, but eventually they're going to come unlocked and be sold. And maybe that's another reason FTX wants to start up their exchange. They can sell all those Solana tokens too. So we'll see. We will see. Explain cold to hot wallets, Doge All Day wants to know. Well, there's two types, right? There's the exchange types, cold and hot, but then there's also your own personal. I think what you're talking about are exchange wallets. Typically, the big exchanges have long-term storage wallets. And then they have short-term are the ones that are more liquid and that there's more transfers in and transfers out happen on sort of the hot wallets. But the cold wallets are where they've got a reserve of coins or tokens that just sort of stabilize the trading of that coin or token on the exchange. In Robinhood's case, the Robinhood right there, since people don't have their own individual wallets on Robinhood, those wallets really are what the exchange uses as a reserve. But now that you can actually transfer, let's say Dogecoin, off of Robinhood, or you can transfer back in, it doesn't go into that big 32 billion Dogecoin wallet. That's their cold storage wallet. That's their reserve for all the Doge that we all own on the Robinhood platform. It's mostly in that wallet, those 32 billion Doge. But they have other smaller hot wallets that they use that are sort of their day-to-day transfers of coins that happen. So that's generally cold and hot wallets for an exchange. So, any dip is better than no dip. Right, Sergio? Looking for that dip, right? But right now we're seeing after last night's dip, we're seeing Doge just steadily climbing up here, which is good. That's good trading for Doge. The only time you can double dip is right. Yeah, Dodronko. They thought they'll put in 100K and overnight wake up with 200. Yeah, it's casino gambling, especially on those tokens. And I mean, it's craziness. The developers are all in control. There's airdrops going on everywhere. And by the time you hear about it, it's already too late. Most likely, it's already too late. So, what is Digitoad? I have no idea what Digitoad is. Never heard of it, Limitless. Never heard of Digitoad. I took all my Doge from Robinhood, put it into a wallet, like a ledger, or onto some other wallet. So there are soft and hard wallets. The soft wallets are like MetaMask or Trust Wallet, something that's on your phone, let's say. You can also have computer-based like Exodus. And so I use Exodus for a lot of my stuff. That's where my Algorand is all on Exodus because I can stake it directly from that wallet to the Algorand Foundation. And my VeChain is all there now. I took it all off of Binance US and it's over in Exodus and it's staked now. And I'm earning VeThor tokens that. So, again, getting stuff off exchanges, right? You can use wallets to do some of this work for you. So that's what I'm doing. Hey, Jonas, having issues swapping my coins in my ledger, Bitcoin to Doge and the other way around. I've never done that. I don't use Ledger Live for that. All I do is put them on and take them off. I don't do any swapping within the Ledger ecosystem, so to speak. This is a hardware wallet. It's for storing crypto long-term is what this is originally for. Now, Ledger, in order to compete with some of these other newcomers, have added, the Ledger Live and this trading opportunity. It's a terrible way to do it, though. It's a terrible way to trade. You're better off just if you want to be swapping, you're better off taking the chunk of coins that you want to swap and moving them back to an exchange like Binance US or Coinbase, and then doing your swap there because you're going to get a better price. Because when you do it on Ledger, you're going to get the worst price on your sell, and then you're going to get the worst price on your buy for the swap. You're better off going back to an exchange, or maybe leaving some on exchange if you're swapping. If you're only going to do it once, yeah, maybe. But I haven't done that on Ledger, so I only use it for long-term storage. That's what I use Ledger for. I have a link in the description below if you guys are interested in Ledger. Check it out. It's amazing how fast it ships. It ships from France, but the shipping cost is really low, and it works. There's nothing better. So, highly recommended for your hardware wallet. And the Ledger Live, once you get it set up, it works very easily. Much easier than it used to be when they didn't have that, from what I hear. Now, my Ledger is relatively new, so I've only done the Ledger Live experience. But yeah, just there it is. So that's what's going on there. Sergio, I want to open a Doge for Tacos pop-up food truck. That'd be funny. Thank you, Jason. Always a reminder to hit the like button. Certainly appreciate it. And if you guys are down there and you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button as well. Always appreciate that support. Thanks so much for the reminder, Jason. I'm terrible at self-promotion. I don't do all that stuff like some of these other YouTubers. They're all over it. But I just like to talk about crypto. So I just get wrapped up in that. That's what I do. Let's go back into the 15-minute here. 8.28 for Doge. Bitcoin, it's right at 30K, 30,023. So that's what we've gotten. Robinhood, Ledger, and the MyDoge wallet. Yep, I've got MyDoge as well. And the MyDoge is what I use to tip and to buy things with. I bought AMC tickets last week to see Air, the Air Jordan movie. And it worked great. Right with the AMC app, was able to go through BitPay because they've got BitPay embedded into their AMC app, and they took it right out of the MyDoge app. Pretty sweet. Paying for movie tickets with Doge. So that's good. Thanks, Sergio. Appreciate it. And I'm telling you guys, I mean, you watch these other guys and they're all talking about Bitcoin to 40K, in the next month or so. That's not going to happen. Bitcoin had its run. Now it's taken a breather. And now we're going to be facing some tough economic times. The United States heading into a recession officially, even though we already all think that already is, because we see the prices when we go to the grocery store. The only thing keeping it down is these suppressed oil prices. The price of gas should be a lot more than it is because they emptied out the oil reserves. We've got a lot of supply of gas, but as soon as that's all used up, you're going to see those gas prices go up too. And between that and continuing inflation, and we're going to see more banks having problems. We've already seen in the tech industry a lot of layoffs. You're going to see a lot more layoffs happening across the board. That's just where we are right now. And, there's no big stimulus checks coming out for like lots of buying of crypto like we had a couple years ago. To me, that means that this run that Bitcoin just had that's not investors or that isn't institutions that are buying all that. It's a lot of it is people that already hold Bitcoin buying more, thinking that, that 16, 17K was the dip that we had back in December, early January, and that retail buying just continued to propel the price up. Saw a lot of that. And then you saw people taking money out of banks and buying more Bitcoin. We saw that in March. But I think that's cooled off now. That's just what I'm seeing. So I'm holding on buying any more crypto right now. And seeing what we have for dips coming up. That's what I'm looking for. You need a legit cold wallet? Well, hardware wallets. Yep. Ledger's the best. Now, I hear Trezor has a good one. I've never used it though, so I don't know. But I hear it's good, but I've got the Ledger, and that's what I use. And this is the Nano S, not the X. And you've probably heard me say this before. The X has Bluetooth. What do you need Bluetooth for? Right? It's a cold storage wallet. What do you need Bluetooth for? You plug it in, you do your business, right? Transferring in, transferring out, whatever you're doing, and then you unplug it. That's it. That's the security there. If you've got Bluetooth on this thing, that's just asking for a hack. It's asking for a hack. You don't want that. So now that's the Nano S Plus that they have here. It's got better storage for more cryptos that you can have on here because it's really the apps that are stored on this, right? Your crypto isn't on this, right? It's really the apps and the finger pointing going to the blockchain of what crypto you own. It's what that is. So that's your old storage wallet right there. People use their tax return. Yeah, I got my tax return back in March. Because people getting returns aren't waiting till April 15th, right? In the United States, right? You wait for April 15th only if you owe taxes, right? You pay it right to the end. But if you're getting money back, you want to get that back earlier. So quiet times, waiting for the halving. Halving is a year away. For Bitcoin halving, a year away. You need passive income. Yep, I have passive income. I had 2 income streams. One of them was domain names and websites. I developed websites. I had some that were through Google Ads, were making some money. It wasn't much, but I was also investing in domain names. And I still have about 30 names or so that I have in the domain name market. And every once in a while, one hits. I don't actively work it like I used to a few years ago, but every once in a while, one hits. Get some money off that. You have to pay the yearly re-registration, which is a pain. But that was one, and the other were these they're like teaching products that I made. And I've got an online store, and I get paid monthly off of that. And this was a whole bunch of work that I did like a few years ago, making all these products. And now it just pays every month. There's something else that comes in. It's good to have a little side hustle. And then I got into doing this between YouTube and crypto investing. So this is now my my side hustle, because I have a job and I work a job. It's a good job, decent salary, good benefits, all of that. If something happened to that, though, could I survive? I could get by, not as comfortably as having the job, but I can get by. So that's good. But it's always good to be working on something on the side. I mean, what are you going to do if you have a 40-hour-a-week job, right? You got another 40 hours a week. You can be doing something. Now, some of it you want to have fun, right? But you might want to think of having a little side hustle. It's got to be something you like, though. It's got to be something you can enjoy. Don't just start like an Amazon web, thing. Or if you hate doing that, you're never going to survive. You're never going to last if you hate doing something like that. But if you want to get into another business, and start doing something and building something, what do you like to do, and what is unique about it? What is different about it, and how can you market that? That's how you can do well. But it does have to be something marketable, right? You don't want to like, because it takes a little money typically to start up something, right? And you don't want to buy something or invest in something that's yesterday's news, right? Even though you enjoy it and you like it, right? You're not going to invest in that. Like electric scooters, let's say, right? Electric scooters were great. Last year, it was like electric scooters everywhere. This year, not so much. So if you want to do an Amazon business, reselling or passing through electric scooters, that's already passed. So you got to know what the next thing is, right? And be ready for it. But yeah, good to have a side hustle. I like using Robinhood Cash Card. Yeah, I've never done that. I use Robinhood, but I don't use the Cash Card. I use my buying power. I'm in Robinhood Gold, so I get like 4.25, 4.4%, something like that, which isn't great. Yearly, it's not great, but it's something on the buying power that's sitting there. Generates a little bit of money. And but eventually that's all going to be back into crypto. But I'm being patient. I'm being patient. You're waiting for the Kriss Pax Doge merchandise. You know, I could start a merch store again. It's not that hard to set up. I could do that again. This was from my last store. It was the Doge mug. If you guys like the Doge mug, I could reset a store up if you were interested in buying something like this. Doge mug. I've got a few other things from my store that I had. I could reset that up if you're interested. But yeah, a little merch store. Could do that. Had fun with a lot of stuff there. You'd love to pick up some merch? I might do that. Maybe next week. I'll work on setting up a merch store. Do that. Good Doge stuff. People are always interested in buying good Doge stuff. So, yep, I'll work on that. Bitcoin, little green candle here, up to 30,079. Doge back up to 8.3. But it's pretty quiet tonight. Not a lot going on. Ethereum still over 1,900. Really just low volume, just not much trading going on ETH. So all this thought about ETH, oh, it's going to dump with the Shanghai upgrade. Nope. Just hanging out. Don't see any other big movement here tonight right now. Looks like Harmony 1 is retracing a bit more, but it had a big run earlier this morning. Ethereum Classic also had a big run this morning. It's retracing a little bit more. And Stacks is retracing from its big run that it had back over here on Monday. It went on this big run Monday through Tuesday, and now it's retracing back down on that for Stacks. But it'll gear up and it'll run again. It'll go on another run. Everything else is pretty quiet. We've got, you know, the Bitcoin dominance, right? Touched 49% and dropped back down because Ethereum was trading well. And so when Ethereum trades well, the Bitcoin dominance goes down. But now it's ticking back up a little bit more. And then Doge, the Doge pair with Bitcoin, ever since it touched 30 again, it's kind of been moving down because Bitcoin was holding steady while Doge was going down, but now Doge has started to tick back up while Bitcoin is going sideways. So we see a little bit of that here. Not huge percentages, but we'll see. You can use ChatGPT to trade crypto. I think people have tried that, and I thought ChatGPT was saying that that it doesn't answer those kinds of questions, but I haven't tried it. It's just what some people were posting on Twitter, or maybe it tells you that and then it gives you some ideas. I don't know. The problem with ChatGPT though is that its database of information that it pulls from is not current. It's from like a year ago at the most recent, and anything since then is kind of iffy. So be careful with that, Jason, if you're going to do that. Or you're just kidding. Or you're just kidding. Millionaire in 3 weeks. Yeah. Thanks to AI. AI made me a millionaire. That's good. That's good. Yeah, so not much else going on trading wise. So that's what we have. That's what we have tonight. Again, not much really planned for tomorrow. We'll see if Ethereum does anything. I'm not expecting anything with Doge tomorrow, but then you never know. You never know when something weird is going to happen. But hey, I will be here 9 o'clock tomorrow night. So come join me. I'll be live. I'll be putting on the Doge chart again overnight. If you're interested in seeing the Doge chart on YouTube at any time, day or night, I have that on, except when I'm here live. So, yep, so that's what's going on. So appreciate everyone for joining me, and be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Always appreciate that support. And check out the ledger link that I have below if you're interested in cold storage wallet for your crypto, because you don't want to mess with that, and you want the best security, and Ledger's got it. So do check that out. And again, I support it because I use it too. So, and I only support what I use are all these things. I use them all, and that's what I have affiliate links for. So, all right, gang, have a good night, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.